What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It is your main man, Juggernaut of Multi Platinum Production Team.
Arkatech Beatz.
Yo, welcome to the music production and beat making live stream. It is a Friday night. And if it's your first time here, make sure that you are commenting, and subscribing and following to the channel. We try to get together and basically do music production live stream. You know what I mean? So we produce the beats. We make the music live on the Cayenne PCX. You know, shout out to my partner Mike Trauma D. And if you're not familiar with us, we are multi-platinum producers for your favorite rappers. Big Pun Nas, Jadakiss, Prodigy of Mobb Deep, The Game, Max B, Waka Flocka Flame, Mike, Killer Mike, Raekwon the Chef, RZA, so many others. So again, like I said, if it's your first time here, man, you have not just stumbled upon a regular, beat maker's page. You are part of a growing legacy of a great music production. Tonight, we're going to do things a little bit different, man. You know what I'm saying? I got some stuff that I want to get into. A lot of updates, a lot of things going on in the music industry, man. It's just crazy, man. So not only with music production do we talk about here, we also talk about music business, music marketing, promotion, social media marketing, all the good stuff, man. We're doing all the good stuff here. So, like I said, make sure that you're commenting, and subscribing. Make sure you're checking us out at arkatechbeatz.com. If you want to get into any music production with us, there is our beat store. Make sure you visit that. We are always looking for new talent, but we want new talent that's serious about getting into this game. Also, if you're looking for drum kits, etc., for music to sound like ours, make sure you check that out on our website as well. And also, if you're looking to learn about the music business, we do have a plethora of resources, our newsletter, our books on music publishing, music copyright, and so many other things that you should be checking out. In any event, let's get this thing started, man. And I'm going to start this thing a little bit different today. For all you guys that know, we got we got some records that we've been working on in the live stream. This is day 138. Shout out to y'all that have been rocking with me for 138 days on this stuff. And as we build the songs, or as we build the beats, rather, as we build the beats, we basically walk y'all through the process of the release and all the other good stuff. So, this is one of the records we've been working on. For those who have been staunch followers of us, y'all know this record. I want to set it off with my girl Cody, is Ride or Die.
Arkatech Beatz.
Shout out to everybody in the live. Let's go. Share the live. Hit the like button. Tap the like screen. Let's go. This is exclusive right here. Let's go. Shout out to everybody in the live, man.
Arkatech Beatz.
Listen, man, that's us on a Friday night, man. That's the girl Cody, man. Ride or Die, man. Ride or Die featuring the girl Cody. Kodey. It's only Cody. Make sure y'all checking her out. Let's go. We're going to go into a new project. And we're going to start building these new beats tonight, man. I just wanted to get y'all, get people, feeling what's going on, what's happening in the live stream, man. That's what's happening. We built that, I don't remember even what day we built that beat. We built that beat, man, somewhere like around day 90. So we built that around like day 90, and then I wound up getting the vocals in, and the rest is history, man. We here. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to load a drum kit real quick. We want to load one of our drum kits in this game. Let me see what's happening here. Yeah, boy Swagger, we are live, bro. Yes, we are live. We are live. My man, boy Swagger, what up? I don't know what's happening with my Streamlabs over here, but we're gonna make it work. So let's go now. I got a kit loaded up real quick. Right. And now we gotta get some samples in here. I got some samples that I thought I was messing with. And for people who do not know, samples are all courtesy of splice.com. Make sure you are checking out the links in the description. Royalty-free samples, man. Can't miss it. Can't miss.
You are all I need. You're all I need.
Yeah, you hear that. We're gonna mess with that. That is strange. Let's try this again. It's missing some of my stuff. Let's sync the files again. Hey, Born Ready, where you been, man? Thank you for the rose. Have I ever had an issue with one of the beats not loading? Yeah, just one time. It doesn't happen often. I had a situation where it had auto saved, and it was kind of like in a funky spot where it saves but it didn't save. So there's no new samples downloaded. Okay. So then why my joint is not there? Very, very strange. But I'm just trying to get my samples loaded. So bear with me, you know what I'm saying? Typically I do this prior to get it on live, but today I'm just trying to go through the process completely and totally and be totally transparent. In other news, your boy was sentenced today, the Diddy party. So, that's a conversation for another day, I guess. But, hey, man, it's music business, man. The music business is a crazy business, man. I want people to understand that, man. And I hope that everybody who gets into it or everybody who wants to get into it can understand how to navigate this thing, man. And my screen is still saying updating the content, but I don't really see the content updating it, so I'm about to cancel it. Let's try one more time to see. Let's try one more time to see if my samples are going to show up where I think they should. Strange. Yeah, that is absolutely strange. Yeah, it's very strange. All right, we're gonna work with it the way that we work with it. I had individual stems on it, but you know, we're gonna make it do what it do tonight. We're gonna use a stem separator if we need to. Richie feeling better, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Capital Punishment, man. We're gonna try to get this up a little bit. It's at 70 right now. I don't really want it there. I want it to be a little bit faster. But I want to try something before I decide to chop it. I'm hearing something in my brain that makes it go a different way. But we're gonna take it a step at a time, and I'll walk you through what we're trying to do and what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling, and see how we can kind of get us where we need to go. Make sure your operating system is good, bro. You know, there's a bunch of updates. That 3.6 just came out today, and then you see everybody going crazy about the Live 3. And listen, I don't know how to feel about it, you know, but if it's one thing about Akai, they were able to being able to get you to be able to use each corner of the pad. It's like, that's some ill technology, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. coming from where I've been, that is some ill technology, man. You know, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of like the light up around the just like the stripe around each pad. I'm not really feeling that. Even though I know it lights up and all that stuff, but I'm not really feeling that. It feels kind of feels like a bad kitchen floor tile pattern. But that's just me. Yeah, I gotta try it out, man. I gotta see what the situation is. You know what I'm saying? I'm just waiting on my joint to get, taken care of, man. Shout out Eddie Mack and them guys. All right, let's loop this up. Let's see what we get from it first. So most likely we're gonna chop it. We're all I need. Just in my brain. Just follow with me. Follow along with me in my brain. That's what I hear. Not necessarily sure if that's gonna work. You know what I mean? But let's try. Let's see what we can do. Get the hi-hats down real quick. Let's go. Let's go. Down. Let's add the other percussion. Everybody that rocks with me, they understand my little, my MO when it comes to this. I'm not doing the rolling. I would probably wait on my live 3. I don't necessarily want a live. You know what I'm saying? I would like a flagship X with the updates. Like I want a big boy. I don't really want to do the whole live thing. You know what I'm saying? The screen is too small for me. But we're gonna see. Like I told you, man, it's gonna get to the point where it's gonna make you have to buy both. Molly, what up though? Richie Mays, thanks for the gift, my brother. Let's go. Yeah, but people want analog sound and stuff too, though, Richie, you know what I'm saying? So like even though the sounds might not have changed, they just want the warmness from the actual machine itself, you know what I mean? It does sound different, like when you listen to it, and I believe that there's a place for it, you know what I mean, in terms of certain styles of music. You just gotta be into it, you know what I mean? But I don't know if you guys have noticed it, man, hardware coming back. Pardon me.
You are all I need. You're all
I'm not gonna add that yet. I'm gonna make tracks for these, but I'm not gonna add them yet because I'm not sure how I'm gonna do this. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do like drum fills and all that other crap. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure what I want to do yet. I have a feeling what I want to do, but I'm not sure what I want to do. So we're gonna figure it out.
you are all I need. You are. You're all I need. All I need. All I need. You are all I need. You are. You're all I need. All I need. All I need. You are. You are all I need. You are. You're all I need. All I need. All I need. You are all I need. You are. You're all I need.
Come on, let's go.
You are all I need. You are. You're all I need. All I need. All I need. You are all I need. You are. You're all I need. All I need. All I need. You are all I need. You are. You're all I need. All I need. All I need. You are all I need. You are. You're all I need. All I need. All I need. You are all I need. You are. You're all I need. All I need. All I need. You are.
Let me try something.
You are. You are. You are all I need. You are all I need. You are. You are all I need. You are. You're all I need. You are all I need. You are. You are all I need. You're all I need. You're all I need. All I need. All I need. All I need.
We're gonna do a note, a mute group. We're gonna make D5, D6,
All I need.
D6 mute D5.
You are all I need. You are. You're all I need. You are all I need. You are. You're all I need. You are all I need. You are. You're all I need. You are all I need. You are. You're all I need. You are all I need. You are. You're all I need.
Let me get this kicked down real quick.
You are all I need. You are.
Something to play with. Something to play with. You know, you're chopping. You know, you got to do different variations. It's just ideas. You know, get your ideas out, flush them out of your head, and then we try to narrow down what's going to be the best thing to run with. You got to flush out the ideas. You got to feel like how, like sometimes you can do a sample and it just goes. You know what I mean? And then there's other times where you got to flesh it out. Like, all right, you did it one way, go back, do it another way, go back, do it another way, and just kind of flesh out the ideas and see what really sticks, what fits. Especially when you're dealing with like a vocal sample like this, it's something that kind of has two different paces. Because if you look at the beginning part of it, it's going to you walk, dun, dun, dun. So it's kind of a marchy type feel, and then it flips, and then it goes, all I need, you know what I'm saying? And in my opinion, that can really be two different beats. It just depends on how you interpret it. You know what I mean? It could be three different beats. The way you interpret it. You know what I mean? It's like it's an interpretation of the samples. And I think when we're doing sample-based production, it's like, yo, there's really no one way. So that's why when people kind of say, hey, man, I don't want to use this sample library because everybody got access to it. Nah, man, it's never like that. It's always about your interpretation. And once we get into our portal and once we start doing our little challenges, and I'm like, yo, here goes the sample for the week. Y'all cook up, bring it back. You're going to see how people interpret the same sample, same tempos, or different. You know, people going to take it, they're going to switch it, they're going to flip it. It's going to be totally different the way most people be rocking and rolling with it. It's all up to your interpretation. And I guess what happens here is that we have to find what feels good to us. But at the same time, you know, as a producer, you want things that feel good to you. But at the same time, you just want to be mindful of what you're putting into the market. Right, and the commercial viability of it. You know, who's you have to anticipate who might be willing to buy. You know, because you know, as we can put out music on our own, and we can look for sync opportunities and do stuff on our own. We really want to be able to collaborate with artists that can be good lyricists, good songwriters, and we want to make sure that there's a fulfillment in what we're doing to fulfill those guys and what they need to do so that we can make a good marriage and make good songs. Yeah, the key here is to flip it, man. And when I say flip, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to cut it. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily mean you have to cut or chop. Flipping can mean you just adding on, you know, a bunch of instrumentation. You know, just depending on how good you are in terms of, like, you know, embellishment. If you play good, you could take these samples and you can create masterpieces, you know, around them because they can be the core, and then you can add on all different types of things in it to make it into something totally new. So it's really into your interpretation. We're gonna do one more instance of the sample. All right, so we're gonna go to an empty pad, and we're gonna load the sample onto that pad too, and then we're gonna chop it at a different place. trying to find out where I want to start. And we just created some more mute groups with this one. D5 and D6. So D5 and D6 will turn these off. So what I'm going to do with this sequence is I'm going to start it off different. Y'all ready? Try something different real quick. One second. Right? Different interpretations, like I said. Now we go to the next part of it, right? guess it's no secret that we'll be naming this beat All I Need, right? I guess there's no secret and no debate to that, right? Shout out to everybody that's in the live. And I want to thank everybody that's been checking out on me in the last week, man. The last 2 weeks have just been funny, man. Like, I came down with a cold, and it was just like, I'm okay, but I'm not okay. And I'm like, it's been weird, man. I don't know, Richie. Like, I feel like it's gonna require more than that. I feel like it's gonna require like a bunch of things to make it. It's gonna require a bunch of things for us to take it into a realm of possibility. And I don't want to speak for everybody else. I'm just speaking for us as Arkatech Beatz. You know, for us as Arkatech Beatz, like, you know, there's a dynamic of us being able to create, and then there's we have to find the balance between us creating something that we like to just do artistically versus what we have to do professionally and financially, right? So I think there are two different tiers to it. In a perfect world where time doesn't equate to money, then it's like, yeah, you know, you can spend the time in crafting things and being creative and, you know, getting things, you know, tweaking and turning and making certain things like that. Where we currently are in the business, we have to kind of look at a time investment, reward, creativity. We have to kind of find a way to balance all three of those things. So if I'm listening to it off the top of my dome and I'm listening to it, I'm like, you know, the sample felt pretty okay. You know, maybe I'm not in the right headspace because I still got a little bit of a head cold. So like maybe I'm not in the right headspace to really hear it the way that I want to hear it. Sometimes it comes down to moods and vibes and times of day, and you know what I mean? And what I've been trying to do with this live stream is just show that, hey man, we work through that by being consistent. We kind of work through those things. And normally, if as long as we're working through that, then typically we'll come up with more good things than not good things. But sometimes it's just, you know, a creative thing where it's like, you know, your vibes are not aligning. So, you know, I'm looking at it like something I might want to come back to. Yeah, I know you got used to me putting stuff together like lickety split. You got spoiled with that. Let me tell you, the live stream has shown me a new way for me to work, because in past times before the live stream, it has always been difficult for me to kind of create that quickly. I've really taken a long time to make music. You know, I normally would probably work on a joint all day. You know what I mean? And since I started doing the live streams, I ain't been working on nothing all day. I've been working on getting stuff done in 30, 40 minutes. I'm considering it, man. I really am. I'm considering it. You know, a lot of, you know, for us, because we're tied to Akai, you know, we get that different pricing and stuff. So, you know, I don't know, man. We may jump into it, you know. I'm not 100, you know. I don't like buying the first iteration of anything. I like to kind of wait a little bit. But I love what I see so far. You know what I'm saying? I love what I see so far. I feel like they're listening to the consumers and the creators. I feel like they're listening to it, and I feel like we're really, you know, getting busy in terms of, you know, utilizing the space, being able to be creative. And I think that what Akai understands is that there is a market for producers as instrumentalists, or basically using the MPC as an instrument. And we should be able to use it live, and we should be able to use it also in studio situations, but we should be able to take it on the road, and we should be able to have a performative piece. You know what I mean? It should be something that we be able to use like a piece of DJ equipment. And I think that they're kind of leaning into that, and I think that's a really good thing. I think you're going to see more and more producers doing live events, and especially with the finger drumming thing, people really are like intrigued and enthralled by it. You know what I mean? By the performative aspect of finger drumming. Yeah, 5 sounds on one pad, right? Because you got the middle and then you got all 4 corners. It's that is some technology for your ass. I ain't gonna hold you. You gotta realize I got an MPC 2000 XL right behind me. Like, you gotta realize like how far this thing has come. So it's definitely something that I think people should really pay attention to it. Smallwood, what up? Start with the sample, Terry. We didn't start with the drums on this one. We started with the sample, and then we chopped up some things, and we kind of figured out we wanted to do the trigger. I had some. Like if you listen to like there are some beats that if you listen to that we may have done, like maybe like a Max B, Why You Do That, and like yo, Max coming home in a month. I hope y'all are ready for that, man. I can't even believe that. Like, my brain is like, I can't believe it. Like, he's going to be back. He's going to actually be out in another month. So it's crazy. Like, we're really anticipating that. We're getting ready to gear up for that. That's another thing, too. Like, my mind has been like, Max B zone. Like, trying to make sure that we got everything that he needs for when he gets back. So, we trying to make sure we got some more Why You Do That's on deck. And, some other special treats, man. We want to try to make sure that they got the biggest records that we can actually get ready for, you know what I mean? Because that's the expectation from us, at least. You said I don't be digging? Yeah, I dig, but, the situation with digging, bro, is that you have to share you have to I don't really we don't do too many samples anymore like that. We're I don't know if you noticed that we're Splice brand ambassadors, right? So we do royalty free stuff. It saves us a lot of drama, man, in terms of like sample clearances and song percentages and making sure that you can maintain as much publishing as possible. You have to look at the game right now because we are in a streaming era, and because streaming rates are in the toilet, like, I don't even understand why people are not preaching song percentage retention. Like, for us that love to dig for records, like, I come from the era of digging for records, but I also come from the era of having my publishing split up amongst a ton of writers, right? And when you need your publishing to really support you, right? Because remember, I've been in the business now for over 20 years. So when you get into those latter years and you want your publishing to really carry you, you know, when you look at all of those song splits, you say to yourself, man, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. You know, that song did X amount of platinum just because and it got this amount of streams, it got this amount of radio spins. Like, could you imagine if you had had full percentage of that song? Could you imagine if you had just replayed that? You know, so we have to really be real conscious of not just the creative part of saying, okay, yo, I want to dig for samples and I want to sample this, I want to sample the most, this, that, and the third. The question is, how much of the song are you going to retain? The question is, are you going to be able to get that song placed, and when it's time for it to get put out, are you going to be denied? You know, like these are things that you have to take into consideration. So that's why we're like very, very, very large advocates for royalty-free sampling sources. Yeah, that's the whole thing. You can't get sued, and then we dealing, and then also even with my live stream, for example, right? I do the live stream and I'm making the beats. I'm making the beats in real time, right? So let's say, for example, you hear the sample that I'm using in this thing, right?
You are all I need.
There's a good chance that when I finish this live stream, one of these, either YouTube or Twitch or somebody's gonna say, hey, we're gonna mute it because it has quote unquote copyrighted material in it. It's not copyrighted material. What somebody tried to do is somebody tried to copyright a royalty-free source. So of course we gotta send them our license and show that, hey, we have a license for it. We're good to go, and they remove any strikes on it. But because of the way Content ID is working and sampling and all of that, it's not worth it, right? Because it can get to a point where if you're not careful, you can't even promote your music, because everywhere somebody tries to repost or do something with your music, the audio is being muted or something is happening, because in the name of trying to protect it from being pirated, you can't promote it. So, you know, that's just the name of the game right now. You know, we're just trying to educate a lot of producers on, you know, what you can and can't do. Listen, man, Mobb Deep album next week. Hope everybody's excited for that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to, you know, Havoc and those guys, Alchemist. Now, they won't really cut it off, bro. It's just you have to make sure that, you know, that's why Richie too, that I had, you know, like before at the beginning of the lives when we first started, I was doing maybe 2 to 3 beats a night. But what was happening was we was getting flagged on all 3 of those tracks, and then you had to go back and get the licenses, and then you have to do individual disputes for those things. So that's why I started to kind of relegate it down to 1 sample per night. Then I know that, okay, I know exactly what I downloaded. I can find it fast. And, you know, right after, you know, it typically happens a few hours after the live stream is finished, and after it's encoded on YouTube, then all of the stuff starts coming through. The stuff on Facebook is incredible, because Facebook will have like 12 different writers or 12 different songs trying to claim the same record. That's just not possible. There has to be 1 copyright owner. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not possible for my record to have 12 different songs incorporated into it. Like, it just doesn't make physical sense. But this is just the things that they do to discourage you as a creator from posting. You know what I mean? This is just the game that they play. I'm not sure if we say Detroit Beats. What do you mean? Listen, the older artists have to release new music, because the new artists can't. If you notice, let me tell you what people are not telling you. People are telling you that the music industry and the rap industry is falling apart and blah 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 blah. 2 things have happened. The first thing happened is that we let too much trash music dominate the charts. That's the first thing. We let trash music dominate the space too long. That was the first problem. The second problem was it shouldn't have dominated in the first place, because all the numbers were fabricated. It was all streaming farms. It was all lies and manipulation, right? So now that these guys can't manipulate the numbers anymore, They can't do the streaming fraud anymore. Now all of a sudden, it's dry. Do you notice that? So now, because guys can't manipulate the number through streaming fraud anymore, this is now where everybody all of a sudden has disappeared. That's really what happened. Is that these guys were never hot in the first place. We were all manipulated to think that these guys was popping. He was never popping. They was streaming fraud popping. Streaming fraud, bro. Playlist psychosis. Make you think that he was hot, but he wasn't hot, man. Make you feel like, oh, that's the hottest record of the summer, man. That joint is trash, man. If you was outside, you would know that it was trash, because you can tell when a record is really doing the thing. When you outside, you gonna see people you gonna see it move people's soul. But that's how you know people ain't really outside. Go touch grass, man. People about the keyboard warriors. Listen, man, they was doing all types of manipulation, man. You know what I'm saying? So the other thing was the manipulation. The music was trash, and then also they don't have your boy stimulus package no more to lean on. If they don't got your boy stimulus package, they can't heat up, man. I've been said it. I've been saying this thing for two years on our podcast. I've been saying this, and I was catching hell for it. People was calling me Glazer. They was calling me this, that, the third. And I said it. I said, watch what happens when your boy decides to stop doing all of it. When he stops doing all of it, let's see if these guys can produce the records that they think they are. Can make the hot records that they say that they are? You know, like, oh, I'm so hot. All right, go put the records out. Let's see how hot you really are. Crickets. Everybody got crickets. Oh, what a difference a year makes from the Super Bowl. Crickets. I can't hear nothing. Nobody don't got nothing. I thought y'all was hot. I thought y'all was a new generation. What happened? Crickets. It's terrible, man. So now all the legacy artists now got to start putting out their music again, because the new guys was trash and we didn't hold them to no standards. So that's really our fault. The OGs let the guys slide with all of that because of the simple fact that they was making money. They were like, oh, y'all making money, so we gonna let y'all live. But we were supposed to tell them, listen, man, y'all gonna destroy the genre with what y'all doing. But I digress. We did this joint the other night. It's called Passenger Seat. People like experimental music is because they're using too much drugs, bro. I'm sorry. That's why they like experimental music, man. Because they experimented with drugs, man. They had to stop. They be wanting to smoke and they want to do all this kind of extra stuff, man. So they got to stop. Call this joint Passenger Seat, man. If you ever had a friend ready to crash out, he tells you to ride with him, and you in the passenger seat having them second thoughts, the song is dedicated to you. You got a chance to get out, son, before your boy crashes out and changes your life forever. Get out that passenger seat. Let's go. Wrong one. Richie, no. I was looking for that for you too, as a matter of fact. But I'm gonna find a vendor that's gonna take care of that. Yo, it's Arkatech Beatz, man. Big Pun, Nas, Raekwon the Chef, live from New York, right? Prodigy of Mobb Deep. The Game. Max B, why you do that? RZA. I got a record with Master Killer. What's good? ArkatechBeatz.com. Do I worry if somebody's going to claim the beats that I do on live? I mean, not really, because, you know, there's evidence of when I did it. It's documented evidence of when I did it. You know what I'm saying? So by definition, by copyright definition, once I put it into a tangible form, MPC, then I streamed it, tangible form. I made a video, another tangible form of creativity. I dare someone to claim it. Make sure you go check out our book, The Musician's Guide to Music Copyrights, so that you can make sure that you are protected. So you know your business about music copyright, and also The Musician's Guide to Music Publishing, so that you can understand what you can and can't do. And look, man, folks do stuff because people are they may not be versed on what the business you can and can't do. And that's how people get taken advantage of. But in our community that we're creating, you'll no longer be able to be taken advantage of. Trust me on that one. Shout out to my man. I want to shout out my man. Big shout out to my man, Mahogany Beats, man. If you don't know who Mahogany Beats is, you got to go look him up. He's a fellow dude from the Bronx. You know, one of his big records that he did It's All Right for Jay-Z. You heard? So, you know, just so that you kind of just to name, Sprung from Mariah Carey. I'm just a few joints, man. You know, my man is, Bad Intentions with Dr. Dre. My man is definitely a solid dude. Pause. But I was talking to him about like just the music industry and I want to have him on the platform a lot because, his insight with, just music production and his story and the things that, the stories that we have that I think that can really benefit producers of, that's still trying to get in, producers who, want to get the stories of, the behind the scenes Jay-Z records, the behind the scenes Dr. Dre records. It's just so many stories for us to be able to tell. And then, we have these unique experiences and we have challenges. Everybody has challenges in this music business. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to be transparent about our challenges so that you can be armed, so that you don't have to go through some of the things that we have gone through, and that you can basically just reap the benefits and the rewards and not, have to be relegated to all of the madness that this music industry wants to create. You know what I'm saying? Because you see your boy just got 4 years, you know what I mean? So someone is asking, how do I feel about AI? Chat. Can you ask? Can you fill that? Can you fill my friend, the new person, in about how I feel about AI? I'm an absolute AI advocate. I'm an advocate for new technology. I'm an advocate for technology that moves the culture forward, that helps us to make better music. Do I prefer digging in the crates? Not anymore. I prefer digging into the sample libraries. I don't prefer digging in the crates anymore. I prefer digging into the royalty-free sample libraries courtesy of Splice.com. Make sure you hit the link in the description. Get your subscription today, man, so that you can have royalty-free samples, access to sounds, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of sounds, man. Get your music to sound how it needs to sound immediately, man. You stop wasting your time running around. You know, just get to making music, man. So like I said, man, this beat is called Passenger Seat. And remember what I said now. The reason why we named this Passenger Seat is because it just reminds me of my younger days of riding with a crash dummy friend, getting ready to do something real silly in the street. And while you're driving, you're thinking to yourself, why am I here? You got time to get out the passenger seat, man. Let's go. Better get out before it's too late. I like how that sounded. I know it's crazy, but somebody hit me on the YouTube chat and was asking, "Yo, is that offbeat?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, it's offbeat." And if you was in the live with us when we created it, I was here fighting with it. I was like, "Man, this joint, it feel funny." You know what I mean to me? I'm like, but then I started listening to it. I'm like, it depends on. You know, sometimes if your ear sticks to the piano, it's going to feel off to you. If your ear sticks to the drum, it's like, oh, it's perfect timing. So it just depends on, on your interpretation again and how you listen to music. You know what I'm saying? It just be different things going on, man. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times we be overthinking this thing, man. Overthinking this thing, man. It doesn't require all of this overthinking that we're doing. Man, listen, man. If you got people from them folks looking at your joint, man, you got to start building a bridge, man. Start hitting them them DMs until somebody respond. And when somebody respond, make sure you got a hot heater pack ready, boy. That's all I could tell you. Listen, you're one DM away from changing your life, bro. Just be clear, man. This ain't like the old days, man, where you can't, like how you can never get access to a Nas unless you happen to be in the room with them. You can't. It's not the same way anymore, man. You know what I'm saying? People are always in people's stories. People are always in people's comments. You know, the key here is that you have to see it and you have to capitalize off of it. You know what I'm saying? That you got to see it and capitalize off of it. Like, you're going to have a lot of people that's going to be like, yo, that's hot. You know what I'm saying? And we be dropping the ball. You be like, yo, thanks. Nah, you want to work on something? Give me an email. Let me send something to you. What are they going to tell you? No, right? What's going to be the difference with that? Yo, let me get your email. Let me send something to you. See what happens. See if something lands. You know what I mean? Gotta have that, but make sure you got them packs ready now.
Arkatech Beatz.
gonna change it to? That joint was called, what we call that joint? We call that joint Sunset Kush. Nah, bro, don't name yourself that. But listen, before you choose any name, man, make sure you do an extensive search, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta jump in and you gotta search every social media platform. Search Twitter, X, whatever, LinkedIn, Insta, TikTok. You want to search those things. You want to start using AI for those things. Tell AI to do a search for you. Tell AI to help you choose a name that's that can be consistent across all platforms. Meaning, make sure that you have enough characters, so you're not using underscores and dashes and all that type of stuff. Like all that stuff is very important for people to be able to find you for discoverability. And then now you have to start to build your catalog and make sure that your catalogs are all matching up and attaching your Spotify and your Apple Music and all the other profiles to the same names and stuff like that. So this thing is a process. So if you're going to change the name, man, make sure that you're just considering all of those factors. But I understand the frustration of having a name and then somebody trying to use your name. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine for us now, for example, I've been in this thing now from, our first record is 1998, but I've been in this thing from about 96. I've always been known as, Juggernaut, no E, no R, Juggernaut. I've always spelled it that way, Juggernaut the Tyrant. I've always spelled it like that. It's been like that on from the Capital Punishment on till today. And our official name has been the Infinite Architects. Always spelled Arkatech, right? So it's been, so people normally was calling us the Architects, Infinite Architects, and then around 2007, 2006, we decided to just change it to flat out Arkatech Beatz. So you got a part of our catalog that's still listed under Infinite Architects. And then sometimes we got parts of our catalog that have things separated, because what we also did was we put our individual names on some records, kind of like we were following the Trackmasters, produced by Tone and Polka, the Trackmasters, because it was a collective. You had Koran Butler from the Youngsters and those guys that were in part of Trackmasters, and then you had Mahogany Beats was part of Trackmasters, Low Key, and you had a bunch of guys that was under the Trackmasters moniker, but they were guys that individually. But you kind of needed your name on the records individually so that you could walk in the buildings. You know what I mean? So you wanted to get to labels and stuff. You want to be able to make sure that people knew who you were. Yo, it just came out, bro. We ain't no live MP3. Like, it just came out, bro. It just came out. Can my joint, can I get a chance to get it? Like, you know what I mean? It just came out. Like, right? So, I say all that to say, like, the whole name thing, man, is very frustrating in dealing with people who kind of see your name and then they want to try to build themselves, you know, with your name, and then kind of, you know, playing this game where they're, you know, you know, trying to play off your name a little bit, and you know, you got guys out here that's like that, clout chaser type people that's trying to do that, and then you have to hit them with the trademark, and you know what I mean, like it'd be a lot of stuff like that. But you know, it is what it is.
Arkatech Beatz.
Oh, the finest one, baddest one. You're the prettiest girl I've seen in here tonight. Finest one, baddest one. You're the prettiest girl I've seen in here tonight.
Diane, this is it right here.
Prettiest girl I've seen in here tonight. Finest one, baddest one. You're the prettiest girl I've seen in here tonight.
Teddy is open verse, man, so it's available. Hook in there, everything, bro. We did all the heavy lifting. Buy a hit.
Arkatech Beatz.
Oh, the finest one, baddest one. You're the prettiest girl I've seen in here tonight. Finest one, baddest one.
Shout out Miss Rodriguez.
You're the prettiest girl I've seen in here tonight.
Rick, what up?
Oh, the finest one, baddest one.
Date night.
Prettiest girl I've seen in here tonight. Finest one, baddest one. You're the prettiest girl I've seen in here tonight.
Arkatech Beatz.
All the finest one.
For all those folks talking about they not using the tools that are available to them to make good music, I pity the fool. I pity the fool, man. That's all I can say. Listen, I'm gonna stop preaching it. I'm just gonna say that for my folks in my community who want to listen. I'm gonna leave that alone. You know what I'm saying? And I guess we're gonna be the only ones that benefit from it. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. I can't say anything else outside of that. Shout out to everybody that got an anniversary out there, man. You know, married life is tough. If you know, you know. Especially if you're on TikTok. If you be on TikTok, man, you never wanna get married, man. TikTok makes it so toxic. Like, it's really like a battle of the sexes on TikTok. It's like, oh my God. Like, all the think pieces of you shouldn't have this and you can't have that and you can't be this and you can't be that. And what I notice is social media has promoted, like, we would think that it would be social media or social, but what it's really preaching is like self-centered isolation. People are too selfish to be in relationships, to be honest. I'll tell you, link is in the description, bro.
Arkatech Beatz.
Arkatechbeatz.com. Yo, what's going on with my MPC, dog? MPC tripping? That's not right. Dang, why not playing? Yo,
Arkatech Beatz.
let's go. This joint is called Out the Mud. Because we get it out the mud. So how do I feel about using it? Man, use it, man. I'm not against any of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like this, man. And this is something else that I'll talk to. Right? You can give a guy a piece of wood and a screwdriver. One guy will just have a wood and a piece of screwdriver. Another guy will be able to take the screwdriver and turn that piece of wood into a piece of working art that he could sell. All of this stuff is tools, man, but it comes down to the individual user and the way that they interpret the technology, the way that they understand the technology. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm going into a technology like Suno as a producer, right, I might know, like, okay, how am I going to prompt this song? Okay, this song is going to be this genre. It's going to be this key. It's going to be this tempo. We're going to use this chord progression. And if I can articulate that into a prompt correctly, what I may output might be superior to what somebody else might be able to output. It still boils down to your knowledge of what it is that you're doing. It's kind of like if I say, hey man, everybody go use ChatGPT, and some people use ChatGPT and they can't create nothing. Other guys can take ChatGPT and they can create whole applications to make $100 million companies, because it gets down to your understanding of not just the AI, but also the process behind the AI. And then also, you can't take away people's real life experience, and you can't take away people's real life knowledge. So when you take all of those things and you can infuse it into an AI, now you supercharge yourself. Now you really cook it with fish grease. Yeah, because what happens is that he's not being able to. It's not understanding, like, yo, you gotta know how to put these things together, man. And look, this is what I'm gonna do real quick, just so that you can kind of get an understanding of what I'm talking about. I'm gonna play you like 2 or 3 different joints, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And you gotta understand what you're doing with this thing. You know what I'm saying? If you don't understand what you're doing with this thing, you're not gonna be able to do what you need to do. And then also, you gotta have a little bit of range in terms of your production style, your song production, and you have to have an understanding of producing vocals too. You know, So those tools are good for people who know how to use them.
It's a lonely time for me as I see this woman that I used to love, and she don't love me. Every time when I wanna be with her for her embrace, man, I'll tell you that this woman just laughs in my face. She's a cold, cold woman. She's a cold woman. She's a cold, cold woman. She don't care about you no more, cold woman. She's lying to my face, cold woman. Oh, you used to light the room with just one glance. Now your eyes cut deep like a broken glass. Your smile's a shadow. Your touch is ice. What happened to the love that felt so right? She's a cold, cold woman. She's a cold woman. She's a cold, cold woman. She don't care about you no more, cold woman. She's lying to my face, cold woman. Oh. She's a cold, cold woman. She's a cold woman. She's a cold, cold woman.
gotta know what they doing, man, and just trying to illustrate some things for some folks. You know, I know the AI talk out there. Gotta put this thing to work, man. Like, I ain't gonna hold nobody. Like, that's really the smart thing right now. Yeah, the guitar solos are everything. That's strange. It's real strange. Either way, we ain't going into that area now. The legal battles are all a hoax, man. The legal battles are a hoax, and I think I want people to. I if you guys ever go and you look at the Arkatech Beatz Music Business Podcast, you know, I had a controversial take from when Timberland and RZA first sold their catalogs. These were like the first set of producers to start selling their catalogs. You know, big money. You know, hundreds of millions of dollars selling out their music catalogs. And the conversation was always about, why would guys sell their music catalogs? You know, because, you know, people want to take their income stream while they're alive. You know, they don't want to wait on the money that may be coming in. Let me cash out now. Let me see if I can reinvest it into emerging technology. And, you know, double and triple and quadruple up my money. You know what I mean? So I had always said, when you see these guys selling out their catalogs and you see these big buyers of big catalogs, it's because there's an emerging technology that you or I are not privy to. So what a lot of these guys like to do is they like to go around and they like to find something, and they might say, there's no value in that. Let me buy that from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, let me get your old grease. You gonna throw that in the trash? Let me get your old grease. If you're a restaurant, let me get your old grease. Yeah, sure, take it. It's free. They're gonna take it. They're gonna refurbish it, heat it up, do this, do that, resell it, right? Because they have a technology to, you know, to repurpose it. They have a technology or a process that they can take something from nothing and turn it into something. So while you think it's worth $100 million, it's really worth $100 billion. It's just that you're not privy to the process, or you're not privy to the streams of income that are being made. Because what these guys like to do is these guys like to develop the technology of distribution and channels. So it's kind of like, you wouldn't have known that Spotify was going to become what it becomes. You didn't know. You weren't privy to it. You weren't privy to what the technology can do. You know? So, same thing with like a Napster and stuff like that. So if you remember like how Napster was coming onto the scene and it had the record industry up in arms. Oh, you can't do MP3s. Y'all can't download music. What? You're going to destroy the CD and tape business. You can't do that. No downloads. Cease and desist. So the music industry, you know, sues like LimeWire, Napster, and all these places, sues them like crazy. And the lawsuits are just to slow it down. So when you see with Suno and Udio, the lawsuits is to slow it down, to put a little bit of fear in those guys. Like, hey man, you're using our music to train your AIs. We like what you're doing, but we just can't let the public know that we like what you're doing because we want to replace artists anyway. They want to replace the artists anyway. They know that music is a huge commodity. They know that music has to go into, music has to go into films and have to go into content creation. It has to go into your reels. Music has to go everywhere. But the current model of waiting for people to make a good song is no longer viable. The cost to produce a hit album is no longer viable. We can't spend $1 million to see if a record is gonna hit. We can't do that anymore. We can't do it. So here come these guys. The lawsuits are a sham. The lawsuits are to slow it down. And on the low key, when you see everything get settled, it's because now what they did is they partnered with Suno and Udio. That's what they want to do from the beginning. They just can't put that out there. These guys want to partner with these AI labels. That's why I'm such a proponent, and I'm telling y'all, get in while you can get in, because that's what they're going to do anyway. The train has already left the station. The train has already left the station. You're not going to be able to stop when the labels get involved. Once the labels get involved, it's a wrap. They ain't signing no more humans. So I say all of that to say, it's a sham, man. Like you see the lawsuits and all of that. Udio and Suno are going to settle with all of those. All those lawsuits are going to be settled, and all of those labels are going to be equity partners in those platforms. I guarantee it. And once they become equity partners in those platforms, they're going to open up the floodgates to all of their music. They're going to train generative AI on every single hit record ever created. And now you'll be able to do it on demand. All that stuff people talk about is not going to have soul, it's not going to have this, it's not going to have that. All right, wait, watch. You watch and you see. Listen, all this stuff is trained on something, Richie. And let's be honest, man, there's enough free music online for it to train an AI way beyond what we can train it. You don't even got to use copyrighted music to do that. People will gladly upload their own songs. There's enough people will upload their own music into this thing for it to be trained properly. You don't need copyrighted music to do it. But that's my rant for today. Get ready to get up out of here. I'll get my beauty rest. Hope is to be here tomorrow. More beats. Got some announcements in the coming weeks, you know what I mean? So look out for that. Everybody in the live, man, look out, man. Want everybody to make sure y'all are safe. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow.